Hi everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to our monumental 50th episode of our MSME Masterclass. Today's topic of discussion is maximizing return of interest with quality roofing and cladding solutions. Our speaker for today is Mr. Abraham Thompson, the Managing Director of Eber Infrastructure. He brings over 25 years of unparalleled experience in the construction industry, known for his innovative approach and commitment to excellence. Abraham has established himself as a leader in delivering construction solutions that seamlessly integrate performance and aesthetics. His expertise shines in handling complex and architecturally challenging projects, where his forward-thinking mindset and meticulous attention to detail have turned intricate architecture visions into reality. Under Abraham's vision and visionary leadership, Eber Infrastructure has soared to new heights. Becoming a leader in modern construction, he firmly believes that any challenge can be overcome with the right team and clear communication, a philosophy that has consistently driven the company's success. Abraham's dedication to pushing boundaries and his passion for creative, innovative solutions have made him a respected figure in the industry. Welcome to MSM Masterclass, sir. We are glad to have you here.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the kind words. It's always a pleasure to be a part of such webinars, and I am truly thankful for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It's our pleasure too. So without further ado, let's get started with our episode. To begin, our first question: what are the key factors when selecting roofing and cladding materials to maximize ROI?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, our industry, our scenario is going through a vast change. People are looking at different options, but what should be the right options when you look into is a good question what you asked. See, one major thing what you have to do is, the durability of the material counts a lot. How long it is going to last. You cannot have a material which is going to have repairs, corrosion all the time once it is installed. So the first and the most important one is the durability of the material, which has to be checked and confirmed about the material. So that depends on where you are, what geographical areas you are. All these things have to be taken into consideration. Second is actually now, as you know, the energy rates are soaring, and people are looking at many options how to cut down the power consumption. So an energy efficient building is one of the most important things which you have to look into. Third, actually, as I told you, the material what you select should be maintenance free. Not much of maintenance. It will happen. India is a country with climatic conditions as good as South Pole and North Pole. So much is coming in. So all these things have to be taken into consideration. That's what I feel. And even an aesthetic appeal of the building also need to be a major consideration. People are looking at beautiful buildings, and just because of the buildings, people are coming in. So there is such a lot of architectural beauties which are coming up. Let it be industrial, let it be commercial, let it be anything. So it has to be a combination of all this. That is actually, yeah. That is what I feel on your first question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That's a lot of insightful answer. Moving on, how do the initial costs of quality roofing and cladding compare to their long-term benefits?
See, cost is always a factor. It is natural. People who are going to spend money from their pocket will definitely look at it. But you need to see this at a wider spectrum. That's what I feel. And of course, when we speak to people's outlook is changing. Now, what they talk about is they need a building which has got very less maintenance, reduced maintenance. It has to be, as I said, there has to be energy savings. It has to be a solution. Now, buildings are becoming a solutions. Now we call our buildings tailor-made solutions. What the client wants, we are going to provide. That is the situation. So they ask for energy efficient buildings, maintenance-free buildings, And what they feel is this, the lifespan of the building has to be pretty long. They just cannot keep on changing. So these are things which has to be kept in mind when we think of industries or commercial places. And even a good building uh, increases, even the property value increases. It is just not that when you see a good construction, a good solution, people are looking at such things.
It is really important since there's a lot of factors involving variables, especially the most important being the life cycle of the building. It really matters.
Even what I feel is the power cost. See, everybody is looking at options actually. So energy efficient building is very, very important.
Very important, sir. So when we are talking about such kind of factors and so many variables, sir, what are the MSME's most common mistakes when choosing roofing and cladding solutions?
It's a very sensitive question, but I'll still, see, we always try to prioritize cost with quality. So what is the priority you're going to give? Initial cost always psychs people. You say, oh, so much I have to spend. But, spending a few rupees more or dollars more is going to have a sea change in the industry, in the future activities, what is going to happen. And, look at, another thing what I found is before going into a construction, you need on board some experts who can advise you well. It can be, we are not supermen. We know nobody knows everything by heart. So people have to come in who knows about the building, what is the latest trending, how costs can be saved. Definitely the whole, and I'm not saying that, I'm not pointing fingers, but the whole scenario, the whole horizon is widening. People know what is happening. So that is something which we really have to look, and, awareness about the new material, getting to know what are the new material in the building industry. All this is going to change your outlook. And these are a couple of things which came into my mind when you told me this. Yeah. Maybe see, another thing what I was thinking is, we have a tendency to see a building and replicate as it is in a different part of the country. For example, I go to Kashmir, I see a building, and Kashmir or those areas or Shimla, your temperatures drop down to -10. You come down into Tamil Nadu where temperatures soar to 40 plus or 50 plus, or Andhra. You cannot replicate the same idea. So you have to take into consideration the climatic conditions also, where maybe ventilation is a need, where your insulation is a need. All these things have to be kept in mind when you take such steps. Yeah, those are things which I feel is necessary. Yeah. And neglecting this maintenance is neglecting long-term maintenance. Once the building is over, we forget. That is not how. Building is like our own body, which needs to be looked after. So the right maintenance, it's like running a car. If you don't know, if you can keep on running, once it breaks down, only you know what has happened. But like that, you need to have a maintenance chart of the building. Yeah, many of them are started doing now. They have a housekeeping unit for the building itself.
It's very important. And
very important, yeah.
In various parts of India, you can't just consult the same opinion across, then which can make a lot of mistakes.
Absolutely.
And increase costs. And since we are on the part of cost and innovations, how can we innovate? How can innovative roofing materials improve energy efficiency, and how does it help in reducing costs in long run?
See, as I told you earlier, in the initial question I told you, we need to think of insulating the building. So, sadly, insulation is not a building code in India, as far as I know. But you go out of the country, insulating a building is a building code. So insulating the building is necessary, which, the output increases so much on the people front as well as your machine front. So these are things which we seriously have to look into. And you can incorporate ventilations, maintenance-free ventilations, where your hot air and is pushed out and fresh air comes in. Then think of cladding of the roof with solar panels. Maintenance-free roofs are needed. Seamless roofs are needed to clad such material. For example, I'm doing a material called Calzip. Calzip is a standing seam, seamless roofing where you can profile it to any length you need. So we fix it in such a way that it is not punctured. Even the solar panels can be fixed on top where the roof is not punctured. So having an energy efficient roof counts on all these things. Now we have gone to the next level. We can have greenery on top of our roof. See, so many things actually where this all counts on your LEED points also, green building points.
Very important.
Yeah.
So as we are discussing green buildings and as we previously discussed climate, I would like to once kind of move focus on that question that what role does climate play in selecting the right roofing and cladding materials for MSMEs in India?
2-3 things actually. India, that is one major thing which you have to check into. One is actually the warm heat, the tropical climate. Okay. I have seen places where it rains so much. So one is this heat, the warm climate. Second is the amount of rainfall which has to be get. The third is the windy conditions. The wind loads have to be taken to this thing. Fourth, one major thing is actually the coastal areas where salinity is a major issue. All these things have to be taken into consideration. So actually, even places where there is a lot of, it has nothing to do with climate, but still where there are a lot of areas where there are chemical factories, where chemical fumes come out, which then tends to corrode material. You need to be careful about the area and how to choose a material and where. So foolproof solutions are coming in all these materials, the new materials, the cladding materials like aluminum, zinc, which covers all this. Yeah.
Interesting. So much difference it makes with all the materials utilized. On that point, sir, can you share examples of successful ROI achieved through high quality roofing and cladding installations?
Maybe I can. What I remember right is actually 2-3 projects what I done actually. One was a convention center in Coimbatore actually. We did it for a group called PSC. It is one of the biggest educational institutions, one of the biggest groups here. They have done a beautiful convention center. The aesthetics, the performance is so good. Whenever I drive on that road, I see that convention center always, from the day it was inaugurated. I have never seen a time where they had a time where nobody was there. Always something is happening, exhibitions, meetings are all happening. That was more of a public space. And secondly, as one, for their own use, I did a project. It was a fully metal building in Hyderabad, Sai Life Sciences. So it is an international center where many of their foreign counterparts come. And we did a mix of metal roof, skylight, and it was thanks to the architect, of course, and the structural consultant, it was a aesthetic marvel. And we can see, people coming there and sitting there and they don't want to move. So they are saying their facility is always full. All their discussions. It was just an old factory where, production was happening. Now was saying that people are coming there just to visit that place and relax and go. And their productivity has really, really gone up. Another project what I did was in Hyderabad for a software company called Value Labs. It is again a combination of skylight plus metal roof. They have cladded It is an insulated roof again. They have cladded the roof with solar panels, full and full. And they are saying that it was an old building where they had the ordinary structure, ordinary sheeting on top, and it was leaking. They had so much maintenance, but all there, you know how IT field is. I don't have to explain. It is a different industry altogether. It is not, caught down industry where people are in straight jackets. They enjoy. They have dances. They have programs. That place is fully used for that, and the way it has come, it has become a marvel in Hyderabad. Building shape looks very simple, but the performance has really taken it to a different level. These are 2-3 projects what I remember when you asked. These are the things which comes into my mind. Yeah.
I've been to one of the two places you were talking about in Hyderabad. Pretty nice. As I'm from Hyderabad, so I've seen this.
Oh, good.
It's great. So moving on with such kind of great examples, now that we have seen such possibilities for roofing cladding solutions, how do you think MSMEs should measure the performance and ROI of their current roofing and cladding systems?
2-3 things actually. They can what was their earlier bills, measure their energy consumptions, and how much their saving is going to be. That is something that is a major area where you can look at. And even what I've seen is actually the productivity of their own personnel, where they are housed under, is making a major difference. As I told you about Valley Labs, the positivity of the personnel after this building, they themselves says, Abraham, the whole situation has changed. People like to spend their time there. Every time we come, and it was I was pretty proud when I heard it. Whenever we come on top, the leadership team used to say, whenever we come on top, we thank you, Abraham, for this job. It is not me, it is all of you who have given us the opportunity. So, the productivity of the people increases. When you look at the actual cost, the power bill comes down because of the insulation. Then other thing is actually the lifespan and durability. See, if you have this is going to be a lifelong solution, what such materials offer, these seamless materials offer is a maintenance-free life all through. We are giving coatings which will never fade and it will have a life. So the newness of the building, the maintenance-free, everything is cost saving. What you see, as I told you, on extreme climates, the ambient temperature inside, let that be sound, let that be your temperature reduction, everything happens. It all mounts into a lot of cost saving actually. Yeah.
Interesting. So all of this measure something that MSMEs can take forward and utilize.
Yes. My request is actually, should seriously think and research about all this. That is something which the MSMEs should seriously. Many of them are really, really getting into all this now. And it's expanding like much, much faster than we thought. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So, what are the emerging trends in the roofing cladding that MSMEs should be aware of to maximize their ROI?
I think I have covered almost that. It has to be a sustainable material, rather. A material which sustains, actually, eco-friendly. It has to be eco-friendly, it has to be an eco-friendly, it has to perform well. So these things have to be kept in mind, where basically the people inside and outside should feel comfortable together. So those are things which I think the client should keep in mind, the MSMEs should keep in mind. And even right, as I told you, when it is an insulated roof, as I said, these are personal testimonies. They are saying that the productivity of the people has increased so much because of where they are. So those are things which you can seriously keep in mind. Yeah.
good answer. I'm sure MSMEs will pick up on that. Moving on, sir, what are the best maintenance practices that are essential for extending the lifespan of roofing and cladding systems?
See, for example, maintenance is an issue. But as I said, the materials what I use and what the industry, I will not use the industry has started using. This aluminum standing roof, the zinc roofing. So all these things have very less maintenance. Still, it has to be, it has to be, looking after is needed, as I told you here. This is an energy efficient material also. One major thing is actually, we always forget about the accessories which come up with the roofing or cladding. It can be rainwater gutters. So, water collection points rather. So these rainwater gutters usually, is neglected area, and they use, somebody will say something, you can use this material and forget it, but it is as important as your roofing and cladding. So preferably aluminum gutters are all the best recommended. Where when we have gutters, we don't puncture them, rather we aluminum weld them with expansion joints where everything is taken care. Your expansions, contractions are taken care, your leak proofing is taken care. That is one. So maintain, even after doing that, please maintain the gutters. Second is, please have a look, at least before the rain, please go get on the roof, get somebody from housekeeping, clean the roof, take it off the debris, take off the debris inside the gutters. All these things is something which you should seriously look into. Maybe check for minor leaks, which is 99.99% rolled off. But okay, maybe there is a physical impact of something on the roof. All these things have to be checked. So regular housekeeping will really help in such things.
Thank you for the best practices, sir.
Yeah.
On the similar kind of note related to maintenance other things, what would be the long-term financial implications of choosing subpar roofing and cladding materials?
Oh, it is actually, as I said, if you are using subpar materials, so much maintenance will come first. Second is actually after the time, I don't want to name anyone particular, but I have seen in a very rainy area, they had to change, because it was a public space, they had to change their roofing every 4 to 5 years. It was a public place, and so those things will really affect the efficiency of the building, the efficiency of people, the efficiency of occupancy. All these is what happens when you use subpar material. And during that time, if it is a factory, there will be production loss. Your machines will be covered. People cannot go in. So it affects all areas actually. Your people, your building, your production, everything. So use quality materials. That is what we can ask for. And I was thinking, recently we were seeing a building which was in such a bad condition. If it is put up for sale, I don't think anybody will want it. For example, they need to do a refurbishment fully, and if it is a quality building, that counts a lot for your property value also. That is also a major thing. So it is a one-time investment which will take you to a different level in all your areas. Let it be property, let it be a production, let it be a maintenance, let it be any area, is something which you can seriously look at.
Absolutely. That must have costed them more if they wanted to sell it.
Absolutely.
Because of subpar roofing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, in this era of technology and growing tools and assets, how can digital tools and maybe current modern technologies enhance the efficiency of roofing and cladding projects?
Yeah, actually, all this has become very common, but it has helped such a lot for like AutoCAD, let it be 2D AutoCAD, let it be 3D AutoCAD, all the BIM softwares like Rhino, everything is helping it. So you literally see what you are going to do. For example, we use a software, because there's always a structure and an outer envelope and an inner envelope involved. So on this, we literally lay the sheets or cladding material and see how it is going to look like, and can give a very clear picture to the client. This is what it is going to look like. If you don't finish it up with a 3D picture, we have an absolute clarity given to the client. This is how it was only possible because of these softwares like AutoCAD, all the BIM softwares, everything actually. BIM is nothing but building informative machines, actually. Modeling, sorry.
Yes, has been very helpful with all
Yeah,
the
thank you.
So, what are the critical design considerations for roofing cladding to ensure that the maximum return on investment is achieved? What are very important design choices?
See, as I said, it has. We usually start from the day they have planned about the project. From the day all the designs. So it starts from design to implementations. So we work hand in hand with all the other vendors. So it can be machine layouts, it can be your civil, it can be your structure going up. So everything is being from the design stage we get into. So you need a team who can be there from the day one to just not the day it is inaugurated, or another 20 years who is with you where your building is implemented. So that a very professional team is needed. I'm not downgrading the other fabricators or anything, but such a time you need very professional team who can be with you. Second is when you clad, or when the building is done, use technical team who has been licensed, who knows, who has got an accountability. All this is necessary when you do such building. So though you cannot just fit it, forget it and go. It is fit it and forget it, right? But when a client needs a support, a team should be ready to do that whenever. Maybe it is after 10 years, whenever it is after 15 years. So when we promise a material, that has to perform, and that has to be account, and such team has to be on your board when you do such buildings.
What question I wanted to cover was, what role does sustainability play in ROI of roofing and cladding solutions?
Yeah, that is actually, as you said, we had, as I told you, major thing is actually, one is an insulated roof where you're going to save a lot on your energy power inside. Second is generating power from outside. Okay, so solar clad roofs are coming into, Cochin, if you come, Cochin is a place where the CL airport, there's the only airport which is running fully on solar clad. So now everything is changing. So we recommend solar clad roofs, maintenance free roof, which is going to be there for them. Second is actually maintenance free roofs, okay, like zinc, aluminum, all these things. Zinc, I'm actually cladding buildings with a material called Rhine zinc. It's from Germany. So this material is a beautiful material. It's called self-healing. It's an era of corrosion. This is rather self-healing. When exposed to climatic conditions, it literally heals itself. Let there be dents, let there be scratches, small dents, not big dents. It heals. So that is how the material properties. Even the aluminum, the bare aluminum oxidizes itself. So all this accounts for a lot of sustainability. I think I hope I was clear on all these areas what I asked. Yeah.
Yes, and that self-healing properties of the
Yeah,
membrane sounds fascinating.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is really, really, really. The color itself settles down. It is a wonderful material actually. So people are changing. People are looking at earlier, as I said, cost was an issue. Now such material is coming into play now.
Yes.
And
So,
even recyclability, recycling this material. See,
mhm.
that is also very important. Usually, all the material, the fixing is such that I can take out the whole material, and if you want to use it in a different place, you can use it because there are no punctures. Even if you want to recycle it, you can recycle it. Such are the factors which you need to take into consideration. Yeah.
Very important, very important. Moving on, what would you say are the best practices for ensuring proper installation of roofing and cladding to maximize ROI?
I would always recommend engage licensed installers. For example, I am working with Calzip and another Rhine Calcip deals with aluminum standing seam roofing. Rhine deals with zinc roofing. So I am a licensed installer actually. I am an authorized person. So we work in hand. So when I come to a project, it is just not me as an installer coming there finishing up the job. There is the supplier Calzip and Rhine both involved. They'll come and check how my installation goes. They have their practices, they have their levels of how the project has to be handed over. So I need to meet the standard. So there's an accountability of both actually. And another thing is the outer skin is what we see. There are something which goes inside for the fixing of this material, the accessories which are equally important. Use good accessories which the supplier recommends and gives. Don't compromise on small things. People will come with ideas. Why do you have to spend so much? I will give you this, that. But don't do that actually. And regular supervision of the installer is very important. So when we'll see to have a project engineer in the site, which will be controlled by the supplier as well as us. So all these are very, very important. And it is not just, fixing and going. You need recommended proper tooling for this, the tools for this. All these counts a lot. I think, those are the things which come to my mind when you ask me that question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was very insightful. And as we are coming to very close to our end of our episode, here's my final question, sir.
Yeah.
What impact do roofing and cladding choices have on the overall aesthetic appeal and marketability of industrial spaces?
How do I say? The first project I did with aluminum standing seam calcip was way back in 2008, and it was in the hub of rain in Kerala. What I've seen, the freshness of that building stands as same as when I handed over in 2008. It has really increased the marketability of the property. Nobody will say it is an old building. We know that the way it is there. So such material will really, really enhance the property value, the marketability, the brand identity of the building. So it all stands out. And, as I told you earlier, the architects and the consultants have the flexibility of using this material according to their aesthetic sense, their performance. So we try to meet it. Everything is metal. There are, of course, restrictions. It is not 100% answer, but 98, 99%, we are able to meet all the standards of the client, or the standards of the architect, the consultant. So naturally, all this raises the marketability of the market value of the building which is concerned. Yeah. I hope I was able to speak to you on all these things on the questions what you asked. And
Yes, sir. Most of my questions, everything we had, most of them are answered. Thank you, Abraham. Thank you for answering all the questions across roofing and cladding related to sustainability, best practices, installation, maximizing ROI, and various aspects. I'm sure our audience also has learned a lot from this, and I hope that they implement and utilize all what Abraham has discussed today. Thank you, Abraham. Thank you for making this monumental 50th episode great.
Thank you so much. It was really an honor and pleasure to be a part of this 50th episode, especially big thanks to JSW and of course you, who was really helpful in being a part of this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.